The Iron Dragon is the latest titan in the Monsterverse. With the season finale of Monarch Legacy of Monsters, we were able to get a huge action scene with it. While he may have gotten completely bodied, with his small size and speed and agility, he actually landed a decent shot on Godzilla. With the Iron Dragon oftentimes being referred to as a MUTO,
encountered a massive unknown terrestrial organism,
and its similar stature to the male MUTO, it sparked conversation on which of these two titans would win in a fight. We're going to compare attributes of both kaiju and see who would actually win this fight. Let's start off with the strength attribute. Let's start with the Iron Dragon. The Iron Dragon, despite the very limited footage of it, was able to drag the USS Lawton, which weighs around 2,050 tons, from the attack site to the Philippines where it resided in 1952. Much more impressively, when flanking Godzilla, he slammed into him, knocking him back a bit. While it was only a bit, you have to take into account that Godzilla weighs 99,634 tons. The male MUTO, much more impressively, was able to drag Godzilla. While he wasn't able to drag him in a way like Mechagodzilla did, he was still able to move him a large amount, allowing for the female MUTO to ram into him. Despite Godzilla weighing almost 10,000 tons less than Godzilla 2014, this is still much more impressive than simply causing Godzilla to stagger. Next up is durability. While the male MUTO was able to take a bite to the wing and being thrown, he died to a single tail whip. The Iron Dragon was thrown into the side of a mountain and took Godzilla's beam directly to the face without just being completely blown up. Durability easily goes to the Iron Dragon. Melee weaponry. The MUTO species has evolved to specifically fight the Titanus Gojira species. To add on to this, the male MUTO was fighting a weaker Godzilla, as his EMP caused Godzilla to be further weakened, on top of him having low amounts of radiation as he had just woken up. This is shown as they're able to stab into Godzilla with their appendages and cause him to bleed. This is quite impressive considering how hard it is to puncture Godzilla's skin. The Iron Dragon is quite similar in this aspect. When he was pulled off of Godzilla's neck, there was a visible area of Godzilla's skin that was dug into. We can also see a bit of blood spurt out when the Iron Dragon dug into him. While the male MUTO's jaw strength pales in comparison to the Iron Dragon's, its sharp appendages make up for it, resulting in a stalemate for melee weaponry. Battle intelligence. The male MUTO is no dumb opponent, as he's shown to repeatedly flank Godzilla, allowing for his partner, the female MUTO, to get back on her feet and join in on the fight. However, the male MUTO flew right into Godzilla despite him visibly turning around to land a tail strike on him, which ended up killing the male MUTO. Despite the MUTOs evolving to fight the Gojira species, they weren't exactly shown to target any exposed area, such as his gills. The Iron Dragon took advantage of this noticeable weak spot and was shown to bite into Godzilla's gills, which warranted a reaction of pain from Godzilla. You could argue this would be a tie, but I'd have to go with the Iron Dragon in battle intelligence. Next up is speed and agility. The male MUTO was shown gliding in between buildings and maneuvering around Godzilla with efficiency. The same goes for the Iron Dragon. After being thrown into the mountain, he instantly jumped off and slammed into Godzilla. Both seem relatively the same speed and are both agile enough to quickly recover, so we have a stalemate in both the speed and agility aspects. Size. The male MUTO weighs in at 15,000 tons and stands at around 60 meters in height, if not a bit more. Unfortunately for the Iron Dragon, we don't exactly have any number for weight or height, but comparing footage of both Titans' fights with Godzilla, they seem about the same, resulting in once again another stalemate, this time in size. With our last category, we have ranged weaponry. The male MUTO's only thing that can even be argued to be a ranged weapon is his EMP he released on incoming fighter jets. However, this wouldn't be useful in a fight with the Iron Dragon, as, well, from what we know, it only has effect on the Godzilla species. The Ion Dragon, on the other hand, actually has ranged weaponry. As seen in his fight with Godzilla, he was shown to visibly vomit on Godzilla's face. While it didn't exactly hurt Godzilla, it seemed to simply annoy him as he was swatting at his snout. Considering this is Godzilla of all titans, it will definitely be useful in this fight as Godzilla's durability is leagues above something like the male MUTO. With all of the categories covered, the male MUTO takes strength and size. The Ion Dragon takes durability, battle intelligence, and ranged weaponry. They both are at equilibrium in melee weaponry, speed, and agility. With all the points tallied up, the Ion Dragon takes the win in this fight with a score of 6-5. This fight is quite close, but what gives the Ion Dragon the significant edge over the male MUTO is his sheer durability, being shown to be much greater than that of the male MUTOs. Unfortunately for y'all, this week's video is quite short in comparison to the previous ones, as there isn't much to cover regarding the male MUTO and Ion Dragon, as they only appeared in one piece of media, that being Godzilla 2014 for the male MUTO and Legacy of Monsters for the Ion Dragon. Looks like we've reached the end of the video. If you've made it this far, consider subscribing and dropping a like. If you guys like them, I'll keep making them. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.
I created a monster, cause nobody wants to see monster no more. They want shady, I'm chopped liver. Well, if you want shady, this is what I'll give you. A little bit of weed.